Hi guys, welcome back to the Bone Zone. Check out this monstrosity of a deck that I've built. It's 20 traps and 20 Skull Servant monsters only. So what I'm doing here, I'm going to show off some of the lesser known traps that have synergy with Skull Servants. And I played 6 duels with this deck and I genuinely won 6 in a row. I won't show you all of them, but I'll show you the ones that show off the traps to like the best. So basically, Skull Servant package, 2 white Meb, 3 of everything else. Okay, Fiend Comedian. This is a really interesting card. It reads, toss a coin and call it, and if you call it right, all of your opponent's cards in the graveyard are removed from play immediately. So yeah, if your opponent's playing a deck that wants their cards in the graveyard, it's going to really hit them hard. And also, if you call it wrong, send a number of cards equal to the cards in your opponent's graveyard from your deck to your graveyard. So you're going to get a bunch of mills, depending on like how far into the duel you are. You're going to send 5, 6, 7, 8 cards from your deck to the graveyard and hopefully trigger some white princes and some white bakings. Honestly though, it's not very good. But it's interesting. It's really interesting. It's like a win-win. You go Power War. This is, again, it's another interesting card. Not good, but interesting. Okay, during damage calculation, when you would take damage from your opponent's attacking monster, send 1 card from the top of your deck to the graveyard for every 500 damage you would take instead. So you're negating the damage and you're milling into your graveyard. So yeah, Skull Servants like to mill. This is an interesting mill, and it stops you taking some damage. Will it stay on the field till the damage step? That's the big question. Probably why I wouldn't actually play this in a real deck. This, however, I've always liked this card. Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. So it reads, activate only when you take battle damage from your opponent's monster's direct attack. So kind of same thing as the last card. It has to stay on the field until the battle phase. Does that happen so often in 2022 or 2023 now? Debatable. Okay, so reveal 1 level 1 monster in your hand, special summon it from your hand, and 1 monster with the same name from your deck. So if you can like hold on to a white prince, and then your opponent gets the direct attack, you can summon 2 white princes onto the field in defense mode. They'll protect you from further damage, and if they get destroyed, you're gonna mill 6 cards, or you're gonna dump 6 cards into your graveyard. It's interesting, yeah. I'll say that. Next up, okay, we've got Free Trap Trick, just to search out the trap we need at the time. Dark Sacrifice, I play this in loads of my decks. It's a really good card. It reads, when your opponent activates a card or effect that will destroy a card or cards on the field, negate the effect, and then send 1 level 3 or lower dark monster from your deck to the graveyard. This card is just beautifully written. It's not once per turn, which is brilliant. So if you've got 2 on the field and say they try to destroy your back row, you can negate that, send a baking, and it protects the other Dark Sacrifice, which then if they try to destroy another card, you can negate that, send a prince. Just brilliant. But again, it's a reactive card. It does require your opponent to try to destroy cards. So it may just be sitting in your back row doing nothing if they don't. Okay. Next up is Eternal Chaos. So it says, target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, send 1 light and 1 dark monster from your deck to the graveyard whose combined attack is less than or equal to that monster's. Also, for the rest of the turn after this card resolves, you can only activate 1 monster effect in the graveyard. You can only activate 1 Eternal Chaos per turn. So with this one, what you're really sending is you're going to send a princess and you're going to send a prince. So as long as your opponent has a monster with 1700 attack or more on the field, you're going to get a prince and a princess into the grave. You can get a baking to hand, or send a baking and a princess if they've got a 1900 attack, but the prince won't resolve because only the baking will resolve in the graveyard. It's again another interesting card. Is it good? No. Is it fun? Is it jank? Yes. And do we like jank? Yes. Okay. One by one. Talking of jank. Oh my god. I love this card. It's so bad. It's so bad that it's good. Okay. And the artwork is amazing. Send one monster from your hand or field to the graveyard. Then target one of your level 1 monsters that is banished or in your graveyard, except the monster sent to the graveyard. Add that monster to your hand, and you can only activate one by one per turn. So if you activate a prince in the graveyard, banish the prince, a vanilla, and a baking, and then to summon a king, and then you activate this, you can actually add the banished baking back to your hand. As long as you've got something to discard, which again could be another prince in your hand, so you can baking effects, discard a prince, add a baking back from banished, and it's just wonderful. It's so jank. And when it does work out, it will bring a smile to your face. Yeah, and last but not least, a pretty bad card, really. Well, saying it's a bad card, a lot of other decks do try to use this. So, Monster Assortment. Reveal one normal monster from your deck and one effect monster from your deck with the same type, attribute, and level. And then your opponent randomly chooses one to add to your hand. Shuffle the other one back into the deck. So you're basically adding a vanilla and a baking to your hand, saying pick a card to your opponent, hoping you get the baking to hand. Yeah, if you do, because baking is such a good card in hand. It's a brilliant hand trap. So it's one of the best hand traps in the game. I think Princess is a really underrated hand trap too. Okay, other than that, I'm playing the 4 material Zeus package, the Vampire Fascinator package, which is Vampire Fascinator, Yuki Owner, and the Zombie Vampire. Curious package, which is Linkuribo, Relinquished Anima, and Curious. I'm playing I got this lovely, I don't know what you call it as a package. It's a Link Climb package, which starts with Security Dragon, goes into Topologic Trisbana, and then from there goes into Access Code. There's a neat trick that it works with Linkuribo, where you get to activate Trisbana's effect, wipe their back row, and then go into an Access Code. So yeah, that's the roundup. I'm not going to do a commentary on this. So I'm just going to play 4 or 5 duels, speed them up a little bit, and yeah, enjoy the games, and see you next time.
You have taken my bait! It's a trap! Combo!
Look, up in the sky, it's a bird.
Super fighting robot!
I totally won that duel.
It's time to do.
Planted yam, sweet potato.
Hello there.
Well, hello, boys.
Let's go. Let's see what you can do.
I'm the biggest bird. I'm the biggest bird. Nope. Hail to the king, baby.
Well, hello, boys.
No chance.